Hi Taurus, and happy belated birthday. Now we are out of your sign, and unfortunately you're the last one to be read for. But nonetheless, this is going to be quick and dirty. I am not doing editing. I'm just like doing as what you see is what you get. We're going to jump in the reading, and we're going to do the miracle card or a secret card very last. So let's see what is in for Taurus in June of 2019. What are the messages for Taurus? Make sure, guys, you check your ascendant. You check your ascendant, and you check your moon sign. You can go below in description. I kind of gave you a link if you don't know how to find it. And if you get any messages that is basically meant for you, take it and thank for it. And you'll thank me for it with just like putting a thumbs up or leaving a comment or both. And yeah, if you haven't subscribed, then please do, so that way it's going to be easier for you to find me, as well as I have on weekends on Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have live, or I have a premiere of some kind, so make sure you kind of like come and check that out as well. So what do you have? You have a Four of Swords. I absolutely love this card because if you can see, this card is clearly faded, right? We kind of like, you maybe feel tired. Maybe you feel worn out. Four of Swords is a proverbial card that really talks about a knight coming back from a battle. And like, he is so grateful. He's thanking God to be alive. There is like this whole process of existential kind of like understanding. Oh my gosh, you know, I am saved kind of things, right? But when this reverses, it can talk about some kind of stagnation. It can talk about that, oh, be careful not to be in some kind of like situation for too long, right? And you're not going to be. I'm going to tell you right out of the gate that maybe this simply kind of like means that you need some kind of rest, and maybe it means that you're just exhausted and that your feeling is just not enough sleeping. It's just like not enough of everything, right? But Ten of Cups is saying not so quick, because I'm going to make sure your month is like really, really cool and really, really good, right? So Ten of Swords in this particular deck doesn't show the parents and dogs and cats and rats and butterfly and grass and a house. It's just like kind of, in a sense, we just missed the message, right? In this particular case, this Ten of Swords is Ten of Cups is giving this newfound joy, newfound, oh my gosh, it's not the two of us anymore. There's like somebody else coming to this foreground. There's like somebody else with whom we will be able to build this future. It's always going to be there. Like, I mean, if you are a parent, or whether it's a baby or for a baby, there's like this feeling that clicks and say, yeah, this is me. I'm a mother. I'm a father, and this is kind of like going to be good. I want this ride to be good, right? And then you have like this King of Swords, and that kind of like puzzles me a little bit, because King of Swords is clearly not you, but this is really talking about some kind of like sense of fairness, right? So these two swords and a cups, neither of them being your element. Mind you, I'm going to draw more cards and we're going to see what we see at that point. But when it comes to swords, keep in mind the swords are big and lofty ideas. Swords are about connection to God, connection to spirituality, right? This particular dude is somebody who is very fair. Sometimes he's being, like, I mean, told to be a judge. So I kind of like do see that some of you might kind of like going to getting married kind of a thing, right? Some of you might I don't know, this is also the sense of fairness. It can be a judge, and judge plus happiness to me indicates marriage or a proposal or something like that. It can also talk about authority and understanding of something, right? Keep in mind the swords have double edge, right? So this is sometimes kind of hard to interpret swords, right? And you know, swords are always reminders, and you have like two on both sides, right? That there's a fine line between good and evil. So be very mindful of your thoughts and of your ambitions, right? Because if you're too quick to judge, it might come back like a boomerang to haunt you, right? So that's where I'm going with that. So let's see what else we have for you, Taurus. You have Ace of C, or Ace of Cups, and then you have 8 of C. You see, I don't like this, and I'm going to tell you why. And what is the third one that came through? Ooh, the World. This is really good. Okay, so you're not perfect. Sorry, you're not perfect. I should probably title this. And if I don't write it down, and where do I write it down? I'll forget it. You are not perfect. You're not perfect. And I bet not many people will be willing to see that, but the good... Hi! Hello! But you are perfect, are you? Huh? Yeah, and you don't have to show all of your stuff on your furry bum. Let me tell Taurus what I see here. So Ace of C, Ace of Cups, and 8 of Cups. And this is really interesting. Ace of Cups is about this flair and new beginning. And you really, really want to go in some kind of direction, right? So I absolutely love this card because this is like on a hard day, you're on a streetcar or a subway, you're coming home from the bus all sweaty. You don't feel that great about yourself, but somebody is just winking at you. And all of a sudden, like you're hearing, oh my gosh, this could be good. And they made you feel so good. Like your entire mood just shifts in that 1 second and everything has changed, right? It doesn't have to be that you're necessarily going with this kind of like fellow, but this can be just like, I mean, that new spark, new beginning, that compassion, where you finally, you almost exercise compassion for yourself, right? And purity. And it's really what is interesting here, that you have a 1 and you have a 10. So you have in your own head that there's like something really, really important going on, right? So why I said I kind of like don't like this one here and you're not perfect is because this can talk about abandoning something that could be really good. Maybe you're going to kind of like be harsh towards someone, so be very careful. Maybe you're going to isolate someone, right? Maybe you're going to withdraw yourself from the situation, because this is kind of like saying, in a sense, maybe it's a time to kind of like finish one world stage and just go to another. You're getting the World card, which one it's just like extremely powerful card. The World is like, to me, semi-karma card, and it's really talking, look at this, the kid is looking, well, this is my world. I live in this beautiful castle, right? And it's the final destination of your journey. This is like where you have complete understanding what your role is, who is there for you, who is not there for you. You have come a full basically circle. So it's about completion, it's about satisfaction. So if you walk away here, it will be really hard to get here. That's what I said. I'm not so kind of like crazy about that. So you need to continue having this goal in your mind. You need to know where you're going and why you're going there, right? Let's get a few more cards and see what else do I see over here. And then you have, ooh, King of Cups, ooh, 3 of Swords. Oh my goodness. It's almost like that I'm getting messages for 2 types of Taurus. So let me get one more. And you have the Lovers here. And also you have Knight of Wands that just jumped out. So that is interesting. King of Cups. And he is not difficult to look at. You know what I mean? Wink, wink, right? It could be that there is like the King of Cups who is winking at you. The King of Cups, you know, like sometimes things start really innocently where, you know, you're so tired, you're so not willing to go in a certain direction, but there is like somebody who just makes you kind of like open up. It's somebody who kind of pushes you in a new direction, or, you know, somebody's gentle touch, like, I mean, that actually just shift the gear, and you are no longer doing that same old. All of a sudden things are actually very, very different, right? Now again, I'm seeing here that there is like a huge need of understanding who is right and who is wrong. You have like these very powerful kings happening. You have a King of Cups and King of Swords. Two of them are like really law to themselves. They're very different. And you know, it's kind of like harsh to kind of like pass the judgment, oh, one is better than the other one, right? Ultimately, in relationships, this is what we want. We want this King of Cups. We kind of dream about this like knight in the shining armor, but then this knight in the shining armor sometimes end up being King of Wands, who just comes and kisses and loves us and then he disappears, right? And this guy here is saying, okay, you know what? I am maybe not the most romantic guy. I'm not going to write you poetry, but I am going to always tell you the truth, even when it hurts. If I stop loving you, I'm going to tell you this. I'm not going to go behind your back. It's going to hurt, but as long as I love you, as long as I like the spark in your eye, as long as I love your smile, as long as I love you, I'm going to be telling you that, and I'm going to be there with you, for you. So they're like two completely different types of love. And you might, and we get really seduced with this King of Cups kind of like type of thing. We kind of like want to go into that, because it's really telling me that some of you are going to have a choice. Some of you are going to really choose wrongly. You need to be very careful and very patient. There are like so many different layers over here that it's not easy for me to say, oh, just do this and do that. So you will have to come here and comb through your own life to kind of like really figure out the solution. Because look at 1, 2, 3 possibilities, and you have the Lovers card coupled with the World card over here. So it is yes, 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 and yes. But what do you want, my dear Taurus? Do you want somebody to stay? Do you want somebody to leave? You have air, you have water, and you have fire over here. Fire to you might be the most interesting actually in this stage, but the fire is not going to pan out. I'm going to tell you right out of the gate. I really think that this might be the seductive force, that you might go in a direction with someone who may have hurt you in the past. Somebody may have left you. Somebody, maybe it could be a father of your kid or a mama of your kid. And because of that, you're feeling, oh, I owe it to the child. I really want us to have the family. I really want us to build this bond. Be very, very, very cautious about that, because this is really talking about this ultimate choice, and this ultimate choice might be just yet another revolving door, and this is not supposed to be happening over here. You are supposed to finish the cycle, and the cycle was going on. It could be that a little bit suspicious. It could be that sometimes you just want to be left alone, or maybe you feel that somebody just like simply dumped you, and then you had to deal with so many things, and you just like really wanted to rebuild yourself. And all of a sudden you're feeling powerful, you're feeling great, you're feeling you're going in new directions, and everything really works from that stage on, right? So let's see what is the bittersweet. Well, this is interesting because the first thing I'm seeing in this card is the birthday cake, and guess who had the birthday just recently? So what was, guys, happening around your birthday over here? You really need to go back to that point, because this is clearly talking about that. It's talking about some kind of inner strength that you really need to have to move forward. This is also calling you to do the right thing, to raise about the circumstances, right? It almost looks to me that there is a personal agenda and then there is a group agenda. So what do I do for me? And let's be honest, you guys can be selfish, because you're earth sign. It's not a time passing judgment. You're a fixed sign just like me, and we are like very stubborn, and you are the stubbornest element of earth. I'm the stubbornest element of air. So, and maybe this is why you're getting all these influences. Like it's almost like things are happening in a different way from different sides that they're just really asking of you, right? The story here is really talking about memories in this particular card, right? And it's really talking about that when we plan a celebration for someone, for example, a child, then we always pretend, even if you're not happy, that this is like so exciting, this is so fantastic. Like I say to Tiger, yes, good boy. We don't have to necessarily be really happy inside of us, right? And especially if the child is lost and we still remember the child, right? So it is kind of like really, this is really talking about the passing of all things is really inevitable. Que sera, sera. What happened, happened, and what's going to happen is going to happen, right? So it's really talking to me about some kind of like release, some rejection, some blockages, some heartbreak. Keep in mind to check your heart as well. And I don't know why that kicked to me, because this really talks about somebody who died. So if you have a Taurus who has heart issues, drag them to the doctor's office, please. This card can also talk about unexpected news, and it's really also talking about relationships with family, especially parents and children, right? Parents sometimes make decisions that children don't want, they don't understand, they're being, rebellious or spiteful, or they don't support that. But this is also making us see the choices and the strengths that other people do. And sometimes it's really hard, especially for a fixed sign, to see that somebody else is doing something else, especially when it could be completely contrary what we want, what you want, right? So keep in mind that there's going to be something that can be kind of like hidden blessing, right? It can be some kind of celebration, but it's kind of like tempered with some kind of like sadness. And that's why it's called bittersweet, right? But it's also going to be about protecting someone and ability to honor others, right? So this is almost like the ultimate exercise in maturity. So you guys are moving into kind of like a new phase, and it's going to be feeling really different. I really want to tell you just one thing, last thing, that by the end of the month, you're going to feel about yourself in a completely different way. You might not even know who that person was before that time. You're going to almost like pinch yourself and say, what happened? It's going to be like, really, what happened? Because your world is going to change, and it's going to be changing because it was a time for you to enter completely a new phase. So make sure, Taurus, that your choices are brought with integrity, with goodwill, that you are not chasing, butterflies and just, every John Schmo who just smiles at you. Look for high quality. That's what I would advise you this particular month, right? And remember, right? You are not the smartest one. You're not perfect, but just kind of like qualify your choices, and your choices will take you to really, really good solutions for you. But then again, if you feel at any point in the month that things are not really working this way, come back, listen to this reading, like rinse and repeat until it really hits you, because the answer specific to you will come, and it's going to be delivered in my words. So my dear Taurus, kiss, have a wonderful month, and I'll be talking to you soon. To order the reading from me, contact me via cattarot.ca. You can get daily Instagram and Facebook and Twitter, so that way you can get your daily tarot, and that really helps as well to kind of gauge the energy of a day. And if you haven't subscribed and the messages resonated, that would be a good idea to subscribe. So take care, guys. Until the next time, you know that I love you.